Once upon a time, in the bustling town of Gearhaven, there lived a young girl named Lila. Gearhaven was famous for its clockmakers, whose marvelous timepieces ticked and tocked in every corner of the town. But none were as mysterious as the reclusive old clockmaker, Master Thaddius Cogsworth. Master Cogsworth's shop stood at the very edge of town, a creaky old building with a crooked chimney and a garden overgrown with wildflowers. The townsfolk whispered tales about him, saying he could control time with his clocks, though no one dared to ask him directly. Lila was a curious girl, with bright eyes and a heart full of wonder. She had a knack for solving puzzles, a talent she had inherited from her father, who had been a craftsman before he passed away. Every day after school, Lila would pass by Master Cogsworth's shop, peeking through the dusty windows, wondering about the secrets hidden within. One breezy afternoon, as Lila walked home, she noticed something unusual. The door to Master Cogsworth's shop was slightly ajar. Unable to resist her curiosity, she tiptoed closer. "Hello?" she called softly, pushing the door open. The interior was like nothing she had ever seen. Gears of all sizes covered the walls, ticking and whirring in a mesmerizing symphony. Clocks of every shape and design stood on shelves, their hands moving in perfect harmony. "Can I help you, young lady?" Lila spun around to find Master Cogsworth himself. He was a wiry old man with a long white beard and spectacles perched precariously on his nose. Despite his gruff tone, his eyes twinkled with curiosity. I'm sorry, sir. The door was open, and I couldn't help but look," Lila stammered. To her surprise, the clockmaker chuckled. "Curiosity isn't a crime, my dear. Come in, come in." Lila hesitated before stepping inside, her eyes widening as she took in the intricate details of the workshop. In the center of the room stood a massive clock, unlike any she had ever seen. Its face was made of polished silver, and its hands were inlaid with shimmering crystals. "This," said Master Cogsworth, following her gaze, "is the eternity clock. It's my life's work, and it's almost finished." "What does it do?" Lila asked, unable to tear her eyes away. "That," he replied, "is a secret. But perhaps you'd like to help me finish it?" Lila's heart raced with excitement. "Really? I'd love to." Over the next few weeks, Lila spent every spare moment at the workshop. Master Cogsworth taught her about gears and springs, about balance and precision. She learned how to fix broken clocks and even how to design her own. One evening, as they worked on the eternity clock, Master Cogsworth grew serious. "Lila, there's something you must know. This clock is not ordinary. It holds the power to turn back time, but it must be used wisely. Time is a delicate thing, and tampering with it can have unforeseen consequences." Lila nodded solemnly, though her mind buzzed with questions. Why had he built such a clock? And why was he entrusting her with its secrets? The answer came sooner than she expected. One stormy night, Lila arrived at the workshop to find Master Cogsworth pacing anxiously. "Lila, my dear, I need your help. The clock, it's been stolen." "Stolen?" Lila gasped. "Yes," he said, his voice trembling. "I don't know how they managed it, but someone broke in and took it. If it falls into the wrong hands..." He didn't need to finish the sentence. Determined to retrieve the clock, Lila sprang into action. Together, they examined the workshop for clues. It didn't take long to find a trail of muddy footprints leading out the back door. The footprints led them to the outskirts of Gearhaven, to the abandoned train station that hadn't been used in decades. Inside, they found a group of shadowy figures huddled around the eternity clock. "Who are they?" Lila whispered. "Time thieves," Master Cogsworth muttered. "They've been after my work for years." The thieves were arguing about how to activate the clock. "We need the key," one of them snarled. Lila turned to Master Cogsworth. "Do you have the key?" He nodded and pulled a small, intricately carved key from his pocket. "But if they see us, we'll never get the clock back." Lila thought for a moment, then hatched a plan. Using her small size to her advantage, she crept through the shadows, sneaking closer to the thieves. When she was just a few feet away, she grabbed a loose gear from the ground and threw it into the opposite corner of the station. The clatter echoed through the room, and the thieves spun around, searching for the source of the noise. Seizing the moment, Lila darted forward, grabbed the clock, and ran. "Stop her!" one of the thieves shouted, but it was too late. Lila was already out the door, with Master Cogsworth close behind. They ran all the way back to the workshop, the thieves hot on their heels. Once inside, Master Cogsworth locked the door and placed the eternity clock in a hidden compartment. "You were amazing, Lila," he said, catching his breath. Lila beamed. "I couldn't have done it without you." The next morning, Master Cogsworth decided to dismantle the eternity clock, scattering its components across Gearhaven to ensure it could never be misused. Though it was a bittersweet moment, Lila understood it was the right thing to do. From that day on, Lila continued to help Master Cogsworth in his workshop, learning everything she could about the art of clockmaking. And though the eternity clock was no more, she knew its lessons would stay with her forever. That time was precious and that even the smallest hands could make the biggest difference.